Right?
Hi, welcome back to the Nerd Shelves. I'm Judy.
And I'm Michael.
Today we're going to talk about Furnace. Furnace is published by Arcane Wonders, and Hobby World is designed by Ivan Lashine. This is play 2 to 4 players and play about 30 to 60 minutes.
Unless you're us, then 4 hours.
Also, mind you, the playmat is sold separately and the link is down below. So Michael will take you through how to play and then come back. We'll talk about what we think about this.
Furnace is an auction engine building game played over 4 rounds. Players are going to be auctioning for cards to add to their engine, to collect resources, and to convert those resources into money. Money is the most important thing in Furnace, and the player at the end of the game with the most money is the winner. Each round of Furnace is played in 2 phases. First is the auction phase, then the production phase. In the auction phase, players are going to be taking turns adding their auction chips to any of the cards that they want to bid for. The only catch here is that you cannot put one of your tokens of the same color on the same card, and you cannot put a token of the same value on a card that another player has already placed. So I couldn't put this black 2 where my black 3 is, but I also couldn't put this 2 where the red 2 is. Once everybody has placed all of their chips on the cards, starting with the leftmost card, the player who has placed the highest number wins that card to add to their engine. But first, every player that has lost the auction still gets compensated. So in this example, the red player wins the card because they've placed the highest auctioning chip on it. But the white player who placed a 1 gets compensated. To get compensated, you look at the top of the card and you are either going to receive resources or be able to do a conversion. So in this example, the white player put a 1 chip here. They are going to receive 2 coal from the supply. The black player also lost this card, but they lost with a 2 chip. That means they get compensated twice. So the black player is going to receive 2 coal twice, so they will receive 4 coal from the supply. The red player then takes the card and adds it to their engine because they are the winner of that card. You are going to continue down the line as players gain compensation for the cards that they lost or receiving the cards for their engine if they were successful. Once the auction phase has been completed, now it's time for the production phase. In the production phase, players can activate any of their cards in any order following the actions at the bottom of the cards. Remember, the top of the card is for compensation only, and the bottom of the card is for production. Like the compensation, the production actions on each card either gain resources or convert resources into better resources or money. And don't forget, money is the ultimate goal in this game. So it becomes a tricky balancing act of which cards do you activate first to gain the resources in order to activate other cards. So in this example, I might activate this card first to get 2 coal, and then activate this card to convert that coal into oil. You can also use upgrade tokens to upgrade any of your cards by flipping them over, which then add additional actions to each card. Once everybody has completed the production phase, that's the end of the round. You move the round tracker to the next round, fill the supply with new cards, pass the first player marker to the next player, and play begins as players are going to start auctioning for cards again. At the end of 4 rounds, the player with the most money is the winner. There are also industrialist cards for a more advanced play, where players will randomly take one of the cards, which then breaks the game in some way and gives you an added bonus. Another advanced variant to the game is you have to activate your cards in the production phase in the order that you've placed them in your engine. So instead of being able to activate them randomly or out of order, you have to activate them from left to right. There's also a 2-player variant where you use a die to control a third dummy player. So that is Furnace! So, what do you think?
It burns my brain.
Burns your brain.
Yeah.
So wait. So what you're saying is your brain is in a furnace?
Right? I love how this game engine building, but it plays only 4 rounds. So you gotta think really fast.
You have to be super efficient.
Yes. Yeah. And I think because we play differently, we build our engine very differently.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
It is.
To see how you play. I do have to say I want to play more players.
Yes, we don't have a lot of experience with a higher player count just because of COVID right now and things like that.
I think it would be more intense and I would enjoy that.
Yeah, it's so true what you say is, I mean, I tend to, and I don't mean to, but I tend to build a bigger engine where I win more of the cards.
Yes.
I don't know if that's by design or by accident, but my engine ends up having so many extra cards than you. But you end up getting a lot more compensation, which means
a lot of resources.
Tons of resources, which is great. Yeah.
It makes me cringing so hard when I see a table, so many cards, and you have very low resources.
It really means that I have to be very careful which cards I activate first, because you're right. I don't usually have the resource pool that you have to choose from.
Yes, I love it. I think it's amazing. Yeah. I just cannot play it that way. It scares me when I'm running low on resources, so I have to load it up.
It's true.
So much I even I feel like I should lend you some.
Oh, okay. I'll take them. But that's really interesting, though, because it is a short game. It's a pretty quick game. There's not a lot to it, but there are different ways that you can play it, and they're both valid, and I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
But that whole auction mechanic of winning cards, but also being compensated.
Yes.
And not only being compensated if you lose, being compensated by the number that you lost with.
Yes.
Right? So if you lose with your 1 token, you get compensated once.
Yeah.
But if you lose with your 3 token, you get compensated 3 times.
Yeah, you multiply the number. That was pretty awesome.
It is. But you run the risk of, if you play your 3, that you might win that card when you don't want to.
I'm laughing because so many times you get the card by putting the number 1 token. You didn't even want it.
That was my next point. The opposite. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you put your 1 thinking, I want to be compensated on this card. Nobody else bids on the card. Wow, you have it.
That's crazy. And more than once. That was so fun.
It happens a lot, yeah.
So fun.
So great, yeah.
I think it's brilliant. This part is brilliant, especially because we play 2 players and brings in the dummy player. That brings in the heat.
Yeah.
If it's only 2, that'll be
It's true. It is true. We actually changed that 2-player mechanic a little bit, where usually you have a die and you roll it, and then you just place the dummy player where the die tells you to on which card. But we've actually changed it, and we were introduced this way where we each take control of the dummy player tokens, so we can use it. We don't get the resources for them, but I can use it to either block you or to maybe open up more availability for me.
Yeah, it's more of purpose.
Right. It adds to the strategy.
Yes, and I think that's really awesome. Yeah. Usually the first player controls, say, number 1 and 3 of the dummy player.
Yeah.
And the second player control 2 and 4.
Yes.
It's just easier to remember, but that is brilliant. Well, I love that variant.
It is because, and this is what I love about this auction, is I love that you don't always want to win a card. Like you said, you don't want too many cards in your engine. You want to lose it to get compensated.
Yes.
Now, when you are controlling that dummy player, sometimes you can make sure you put the 4 on a card to make sure that you lose it.
Yes.
Which is pretty neat.
Yes.
Now, I am going to just say that, yes, that playmat does not come with the base game.
It is sold separately, and the link is down below.
But for me, that just put this game over the top.
Love it, hey.
Oh, it makes it, for me, it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
And we also switched out the coins for metal coins, and it just added to the experience because you're converting so much of your resources
Yes.
to coins, and that's the main object of the game.
The trading, you're touching the real metal
That's
token.
right,
That
exactly.
is so realistic.
Exactly.
Love
it. To me, that really just made this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, so moment of truth.
Okay.
What do you rank this out of 10?
It was overwhelming for me at the beginning.
Yep.
So the first play, no offense, but first play, it was only 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
First time. Yeah, I was very overwhelmed.
Yeah, you didn't like it the first time you played it.
No, I thought, wow, that was so chaos.
Okay.
But
But.
the second play, it goes right up to 7.
Okay. Solid.
It's a big jump.
Yeah.
Because I started to get familiar with it.
Yeah.
And I started, okay, I can play my engine. That's good. That's good. The third play, wow, it's at 8.5.
Whoa.
Stay 8.5 though. I think if we play more players, it might change.
Wow.
8.5.
I'm surprised.
You are, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. My ranking?
Is it 10?
No. For me, it is 8.5.
8.5 too?
It is 8.5. Yeah. The reason why I gave it an 8.5 rather than I was thinking of around a 7.5 or an 8, but the fact that they managed to design a game that is so thinky,
Yes.
it's an engine building game in only 4 rounds and it's super fast.
Yes.
To me, that blew my mind.
Yes.
And for that reason, it is higher than an 8 for
It
sure.
deserves 8.5.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And now, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Leave a comment below.
Yeah, please comment below. Tell us if you've played Furnace, what you think about Furnace, and give it a ranking for us so we can
Yes.
compare what everybody else thinks.
Let us know.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we have more video coming.
Absolutely.
Until next time,
Go ahead and get another game off of your nerd shelves.
take care.
Bye.
2 to 3. Boop, boop. Cut out. Okay.